after Rudd gives it to you in the way that he did, I mean, he should surely understand why you'd be a bit annoyed and you'd want to go straight and hard.
Well, the ALP hasn't treated our union well. Their actions against me, probably more disturbing what they did to our Assistant Secretary Kevin Harkins in take away his pre-selection in Tasmania for defending workers' rights in a very, very hostile environment. It was heartbreaking for Kevin and quite frankly heartbreaking for the union, and it's very hard to keep your members on side. But let's remember that John Howard is our enemy first and foremost. He would destroy every right we have and not give us a say in things. With Labor, we do have a say in things, and we can campaign to improve it. And we will, Phil. It'll be an ongoing campaign, even if Rudd becomes Prime Minister, won't it?
So before we get to that, the Senate, you're telling people...
Well, I think, look, you cannot deny in the Senate the Greens industrial relations laws are terrific. They are what we would expect of the ALP. In fact, if you were to look at the ALP's policy at the last federal elections, you look at what the Greens are saying, and they're saying, well, we're maintaining the faith in terms of workers' rights. Now, you've got to acknowledge and support that. I'm a strong environmentalist. I believe in renewable energy jobs. I want a planet that's not dead so that our kids have got something to be... to live in, and future generations who need to look after it. Their policies are very good like that. Labor is not as good on IR, it's not as good on the environment. And, anyone who'd vote for Family First, does my head, and I just can't work.
So you're out in Maribyrnong, where you vote?
I'm in your old electorate.
You're in Wills. So you got Kelvin Thompson.
Yes, I honestly didn't even realise until about a month ago, and I started getting Kelvin Thompson.
At least you get Tony Mockbell's vote. Is Tony able to vote from that jail in Greece?
I don't know, ask Kelvin. Oh no, I thought Kelvin's he's a hard working member, but I like the bloke who was there before him, Phil.
Oh yeah, he was a bad fella. Yeah,
good fella.
Cleary. Yeah. Now, so the Senate. Are you going to vote in the Senate in Wills? Sorry, are you going to vote for the Greens in the Senate there, or do you want to say that that's private between you and the ballot box?
No. My vote will be a Green vote. My vote will be a Green vote in the Senate because they've taken Labor's position on industrial relations. My life's centred around workers' rights, and I'll be true to my politics and belief, which are traditional Labor. It's strange you have to vote another party to achieve it, isn't it?
So we know if Howard's in, it's a terrible time ahead. It's a tough time ahead. In a couple of lines, what does it really mean if he gets in? Well, and in fact, can unions survive, Dean?
Well, you will survive, but it's in what form? Phil, John Howard, the things he's done haven't manifested itself in their total attack on workers yet. Our members have had EBAs running for some time. We've been able to use a few little tricks to keep them going and roll them over. If Howard's re-elected, the ability for workers to be able to campaign or fight for better wages and conditions, remember the fundamental. If a worker cannot withdraw their labour, if they don't have that fundamental right to strike and have a go, then they've got no bargaining power at all, and that's the reality. No bargaining power into the future under Howard's laws. That you will have no leverage on the boss, and you won't get a wage increase. It'll be a downward spiral, mark my words.
I don't know whether people would be stunned if they knew this, and I think it's pretty clear they don't know it well enough. But you get cases like Heinemann where people don't do overtime and lose pay, real pay. You get Chubb where there's an EBA blue going on at the present time. They take a day off and lose 50% of their pay. I mean, this is quite staggering, isn't it?
Absolutely. If our members take 15 minutes at Chubb, have a 15-minute stop work meeting, they're docked 4 hours for 4 hours they've actually worked. But these are the things, Phil. The ability to take industrial action is so difficult to do under a very constrained legal framework. So it's designed to render unions' ability to defend their members or improve their lot. It just makes it ridiculously impossible. That's the long-term thing people need to understand. If we can't fight, we will lose, and the downward spiral starts. And we've seen it's happening already.
You've criticised Kevin Rudd and the potential government, the potential Labor government, over its position on IR. What do you think it's really going to be like if they get elected on the IR front?
Well, I would say let's be very vigilant about our Your Rights at Work campaign. Don't take down the banners. Don't pack up the stalls, because I think we will be campaigning, even if Rudd's Prime Minister, for workers' rights. And I think Rudd doesn't believe in trade union rights. I don't think he understands them. It's very difficult understanding how a construction worker or a factory worker, textile worker, lives and survives from a $10,000 a week beach house on the Gold Coast. It's very hard to understand from a family whose primary income or a large part of their income comes from a business that makes their money off other workers' labour. You know, I mean, that's a family that is not going to have a perspective on workers' rights. And I make no apologies of the fact that I don't care who's Prime Minister, whether it's Howard or Rudd, our fight for our members, wages, conditions, dignity at work will go on, and I don't care who's there. And if Rudd's there, well then so be it, we'll blue him. But I'd rather be blue under Labor much more than a Liberal, because I know there are some people within the ranks of Federal Parliament and the Senate who genuinely care about workers' rights, and you don't get that with the Libs.
We've got two big events, the demonstration rally in town about the Eureka flag, yes, and the ABCC's position on that clause in the Act. Do you want to tell people about that?
Well, it's interesting. The Australian Government Building Industry Police Force, which most people, if you were listening from America, you'd wonder what that is. Or internationally, you know, in the construction industry, of course, in Australia, we have this building industry task force, former federal police and the like, and lovely people, I'm sure.
Mr. Hadgekiss, a nice name.
Lovely people. And their mission is to go out there and intimidate workers and enforce non-union laws. They've decided that the Eureka flag, a symbol of rebellion, struggle, political freedom, ultimately political freedom, is a symbol that means no ticket, no start, which is just
commandeered by
bizarre.
The trade unions to mean, no ticket, no start.
So here we have the 2007 edition of the Redcoats that were running around on behalf of the British government in 1854, chasing down workers at the end of a bayonet to enforce their will on them. Have we come that far? No, seriously.
It's a great little line in that clause, Dean, that says any symbol that suggests that unionism is anything but voluntary shall be banned from the site.
Absolutely.
It's a perler, isn't it?
Eureka. It's a rebel flag. It's a flag about freedom. And remember that workers of 16 different nations came and fought, and many died, on the goldfields of Ballarat. Americans, Canadians, Greeks, Italians, people from the Netherlands. You know, it was amazing. Irish, of course, and the Scots fought for freedom, and they won that for us. We have that flag, as other unions cherish that flag as a symbol to remind us of their struggle and about freedom. And so you think we're going to give that up, you've got another thing.
The Friday down at the library?
Yes, State
Library. Around 5:30, I think. Robert Richter's going to be there. Father Bob Maguire, you'll be speaking. Eureka descendants. So the Friday before the election. And then on the Sunday, we've got a big cricket day with Merv Hughes' mob over at the Merv Hughes Oval.
Have we ever? Big weekend, Phil.
Oh, it's a big weekend. You will be celebrating. There will be a few blokes with hangovers on the Sunday if things go well, or if they go bad too.
Well, hopefully we're celebrating the end of the Howard government, and I'll have a drink for that. Right, several.
In the name of the Asthma Foundation of Victoria.
Well, of course. And then, of course, on Sunday, that cricket match down at Merv Hughes, I think it kicks off around midday, Phil.
Yep.
And if people can make their way down, look, come down. It's a wonderful place. Merv will be out there having a go. He's a terrific fellow. He talks to every bugger. And, of course, we raise money for the Asthma Foundation, which we believe is incredibly important and a great initiative of the Centurions. The former district cricketers have either taken 100 wickets or made 100 runs, and a fine bunch of blokes they are too.
And finally, Dean, who's going to win the election?
Well, I think Labor will win it. I think that they'll win it. I think they'll win it well. I think that the polls have held too long. I think basically it's time for Howard to go. I think Howard will lose the election more than Labor will win. And
then we'll be off for tea and biscuits with Kev, won't we?
Oh, look, I think Kevin and Julie are probably having an afternoon tea party in my honour any time. I'm just waiting for it. Maybe when the Majesty's over and you and I can both go.
I'll carry your bags. Good on you, Dean.
Good on you, Phil.